On our overland trip to the Nordic mountains, we've now reached Norway. I can't wait to show the guys my favorite camp spots and backcountry roads in this area. I'm Line and I'm in the Ford Ranger with my husband Thomas and our dog Sebbo. We are on this trip with our two good friends, Sebbo in his Nissan Patrol and Matze in his Mitsubishi L300. This part of the trip has a lot in store for us. The first thing that happened after we crossed the border between Sweden and Norway was that we found a little gravel road and that led right to a copper mine, and we stopped at the parking lot and saw the museum and noticed that in half an hour there will be a guided tour down to the mine. So we did that spontaneously, had a guided tour down in an old copper mine from way back in the 16th century. Then we went into the city of Røros, where they melted the copper and saw the city center. Røros is part of the UNESCO World Heritage. It's a very interesting city to walk around in. After the historic sightseeing, we are now heading up to a camp spot right at the tree line up on a mountain. This is a place I've used on my solo trips the last 2 summers and really enjoy. The views are fantastic, you usually have it all to yourself, and there's a stream with clean water running right by. We are mostly driving on small gravel roads across the mountains and through the valleys. The mountain roads are for the most part pay roads that are owned by the small local communities, and the money goes to the road maintenance. It's not cheap, but it's a good way to have the mountains available for vehicles.
But who's looking here? Yeah.
Don't buy a Chinese heater. We are parked here up on the mountainside, and we had another night of rain, and it was windy and cold, and last evening we tried to start our heater, and at first it wouldn't start, and then there was exhaust everywhere inside the Alu-Cab. So somehow there's some connection between the burner in the heater and the air outlet that heats up the inside of the Alu-Cab. So as I said, don't buy a cheap one. So we don't have a heater. It was okay tonight. I have a good sleeping bag, and my husband has 2 blankets, and we also have Simba in between us to heat us up, and it was fine. But it wasn't the reason we bought a heater. But that's the way it is. Now we have to do without. We drove down into the valley after the cold night up in the mountains and hiked into a special place I know from my childhood, a narrow cut between the ancient rock formation that forces the river into a waterfall, and on top, the most narrow spot, of course, there's an old wooden bridge. From there we went to our next camp spot. Thomas, Simba and I went for a hike up to the nearest mountain top, and the evening was spent by the fire. These mountains right here are my second home. I've hiked in these mountains my whole life. My mom even brought me up here before I could walk myself. She carried me on her back. Every summer was spent here, hiking with my mom during the days and fishing in the river down in the valley with my dad during the evenings. My mom and dad still have their house here and will arrive in about a week from now. Then Thomas and I will visit them and spend some days at their house. But right now, I'll just enjoy driving here in the comfort of our car while the stormy weather roars outside. This trip has developed a kind of theme. Some waterfalls, old bridges and mountains theme. I love that.